Greetings everyone, I'm Kate Allen here. I want to welcome you back to my series on the creative process through the lens of the Tarot Suit of Cups. For this month I chose the Three of Cups, which in the deck I chose, the Cosma Visions deck by James R. Eads, is called the Three of Lotuses. In this card there are multiples of three going on. In the background you see a white building. It's a tall structure and it has three domes. Just in front of the white structure you see three figures dancing together. And then there's a large body of water, and there are three people in boats, and they are rowing together at the same time, but in different boats. And then in the foreground of this card you see three lotus flowers floating on top of this body of water that takes up most of the card. In traditional tarot, the Three of Cups is usually represented by three females holding up cups together. And there are various ways that the three women of the Three of Cups are interpreted. Sometimes they're interpreted in terms of the maiden, mother, and crone, so the various stages of life. Sometimes this card is interpreted in terms of friendship or community connection of some kind. Sometimes the card is interpreted in terms of the turning of the seasons, like the waxing, the fullness, and the waning of the moon every month. In this deck's version of the Three of Cups, I perceive an emphasis on harmony and also an emphasis on multiplicity. Personally, I'm very fond of the number 3 because, for me, it represents the ability to get past the polarization of the two, the either-or. And it gets at the third option. The philosopher Hegel actually made this into a whole thing, which is now called Hegel's dialectic, where there's option 1, which is the thesis, and then there's its opposite, which is the antithesis or the antithesis, and then there's the third option, which is somewhere in between, and it's something new, and it's called the synthesis. And what I'm going to invite you to do today is some synthesizing. So, what I'd like you to do is pull out your journal and something to write with, and I would like you to write down an either-or proposition that exists in your mind, maybe in the recesses of your mind, about your creativity. One example could be, I can either do this thing that I love so much creatively, or I can work to make money. Another example might be, I am either the best, most acclaimed person in my creative field, or I'm the worst. Once you have your either-or proposition or propositions, I want you to take a few minutes and reframe what you've just said. And that's where we're moving from thesis and antithesis to synthesis. So, for example, if you were to say, I can either do this creative thing or I can work to make money, you could reframe that as, I'm going to work for 8 hours a day to make money, and I am going to spend 15 minutes on my creativity every day as well. Or in the second example, I am either the best, most acclaimed person in my field, or I'm the worst. You could reframe that as, the best, most acclaimed people in my creative field started out as know-nothings, and it is a process to get to be the best and the most acclaimed, And the process is practicing and failing a lot, and then learning from all of the practice and the failures. If negative feelings come up while you're writing your synthesis or your syntheses, I want you to write those down next. So, for example, to use that first line, a feeling that might emerge is, I'm really angry that I'm only considering giving myself 15 minutes to work on my creativity when I spend 8 hours working at this job I hate to make money. In the second example, the feeling that might come up is something like, if I experience failure on this road to becoming the best, then I will be mortified or embarrassed, and I won't be able to continue. Once you've written down what those emotions are, or those anticipated emotions, the next thing is to convert those emotions into useful information. What do those emotions tell you about what you value? So in the first example, being angry about only getting to spend 15 minutes tells you that you really want to be spending a lot more of your time on your creativity. And in the second example, if you anticipate feeling embarrassed about failures along the way, maybe that tells you that something you value is being respected for what you're doing creatively. Once you have that information from your emotions about your creative process, you can convert that into an achievable goal. So in the first example, maybe you tell yourself, I am going to schedule 15 minutes a day. That's only for my creativity, and I'm not going to allow anything else to interrupt it. A goal for that second example might be, I am going to share my embarrassment or my fears or my anxieties with somebody I trust, and I'm going to show it to them first before I show the world at large, because I need to be treated with respect, and I may not be able to count on that from the world at large, but I can count on that from this trusted person in my life. Now, knowing how hard it is to reframe my own thoughts sometimes, I want to give you the opportunity to reframe a thought that didn't come from you. I'm going to give you one that came from the back of my brain, and I want to see how you would reframe it. So, here's the either-or proposition. If I can't have it all, then I don't want any of it. How would you reframe that? What emotional undercurrent would you identify in that? What kind of information would you glean from that emotional undercurrent? And what small, achievable goal would you suggest? I welcome you to throw your answers in the comments if you like. I would be very happy to hear them. As always, I want to thank my Patreon patrons, the sticky ones, for your ongoing support. You make this and so many things possible. I'm so grateful. If you're not a Patreon patron of mine and you would like more information, or you would like to check out some of the exclusive content I have available for the sticky ones, you can visit patreon.com/mkdallin. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.